individuals that have. When you get more than two people, it starts to grow geometrically. And the beautiful thing about masterminds, guys, is you might say, I don't know if I got the ability to stand up and even talk to a group on Zoom or even talk to a group of 10 or 12 people in a little meeting sharing what I know. You don't have to do that in a mastermind. In a mastermind, you're bringing people together and we show you the process to get them to bring the answers to the table. And you know what? People actually own things more in a community. A community is not just a place you go get something, a community you go give something. And people get addicted to masterminds because I'm learning from other people really practical, specialized knowledge. Something can make me my business grow, help me do with my hair, help me make write better software, help me whatever it is I'm looking for. These are other people in that industry. They have history and challenges that I have. We share ideas and answers, but I'm also able to contribute to that area. And it takes the pressure off of you trying to be the expert. You don't have to be as the head of a mastermind.
I have to tell you, nothing in my life. It is the one thing that has moved the needle more for me than any one thing in my life. I get to go, I hold high-end masterminds, but I also attend high-end masterminds. I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars going because I get to go there with my biggest problem and challenge, and I get to go there also with my biggest opportunity. And the biggest opportunity, the group shines light on how to make it bigger, and the problem, somebody in the group absolutely has been through it, and they give me guidance. Nothing has changed my life like masterminds.
Plus, they become your dearest friends.
They do.
They become friends for each other. They become friends for you. And that also creates stickiness for the business as well on a positive side. People don't want to go away when they get so much value. That instead of you having to be the generator of value all by yourself, that's the beauty of a mastermind. Quite frankly, in the beginning, I did it all on my own. I learned, I grew. I was the guy from the front of the room. I did it the rough way. But masterminds are a much easier way. And in those masterminds, you're learning constantly too, which makes you a better expert. So if you do want to give a course, if you do want to step up and write a book, you have got something to pull from.
And you got eyeballs.
Yes.
And just so think about this, when we say mastermind from this part out, we mean communities and groups and workshops and actual masterminds. I just got to share about Dana Derricks. Dana, awesome guy. If you could pull him up on the screen, Mike. Dana's an awesome dude because
oh, the goat farmer, yeah.
Like literally, his video that he sent in was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Dana taught people how to find partners to help promote your business. So you're going out there and he would find somebody that's in a similar genre but not a competition and get him to be an affiliate partner to promote.
Yeah.
So he did it so well, he said, let me build a course. And he's like, the course is good, but it's not making the impact. Then he got nervous. He started a $25,000 per person mastermind to come to his goat farm, literally in his garage.
No.
I'm not joking, in his garage, and hold it. And could this work? Would they pay me? Would they want to come to this little town I live in? So amazing that right now he's doing $50,000 a month in top line revenue, helping people learn how to be better.
$600,000 a year. And how long has he been doing it now? 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years doing it. So the reason I wanted to share these examples, and we had our team scour people to find from all different walks of life, is because when we talk, like, we didn't want to share too much to the world because you go, oh, I'm not Tony, I'm not Dean, I'm not an expert, and that's why you're wrong. In fact, I think I'm going to go to the whiteboard.
Please do.
I want to share something. If you guys could follow me over here. Thanks, Jeremy. So let's peel this off. So being in the knowledge business is, again, when we first share this, you might think, I'm not an expert. So just think if you had a methodical process, if you have a skill, a hobby, an expertise, or a passion, if you had the right questions designed by Tony and I after 60 years, where when you were done, you went, holy crap, this is what I'm good at. All of a sudden, your confidence goes up, and then you get the blueprint on how to train it, whether online for a half a day or 2 days in person, along with tools that we've been using. I've been using most of those for over 20 years. So just think that fear goes away. But I want to tell you the three type of people, we were calling it the KVB triangle. The three type of people we've already mentioned a lot of times, but I want this to sum it up for you. You're either the expert. And what does the expert mean? That means you have to be in business for 50 years doing it every day. No, that's not what it means. Take Jamie. If you could pull Jamie up. Jamie Findley, I love this story. Jamie was a wedding photographer, doing really well and working time and effort, right? So she'd have to go to the wedding, she'd have to film, she'd have to edit, she'd have to do all the pieces. Well, then she started teaching her friends, and then more friends wanted to learn. So right now what Jamie does is she holds expert workshops on how to be in the wedding photography business, how to market, how to brand yourself, how to do amazing pictures, how to get other people to help you, how to get interns. She does this now, and she's so fulfilled. Same thing, her biggest fear, would people actually pay me for what I know? I haven't been doing this for a million years. This is what the world has changed. People would think just 10 years ago, you'd say, I want to be in the wedding business. Where can I go to college to learn how to be a photographer?
Yeah.
People don't think that anymore. You know where they go? They go and look for who's somebody. I want to learn from a professional. I want to learn from a non-professional who's doing it rather than the professional
non-professional teacher.
Yeah, non-professional teacher
Yeah.
that's doing it rather than the professional teacher. So that's a great story with Jamie. So now you might be saying, okay, all right, if Tony and Dean were guiding me, I could extract it, I could share it, okay. But what about if I'm not an expert? I don't have any expertise. I just got out of college, or I've been in a job that hasn't challenged me forever, but I'm ready to tap into my full potential. Then you'd be the reporter. Listen, I told this story on stage, and I'll rob this. I mean, the best idea, the best example of a reporter is Money Master the Game.
Yeah,
it's one of the greatest.
Yeah, because what I did when I saw this, I saw so many people suffering during 2008, and I knew a lot in the financial area. I'd coached Paul Tudor Jones, one of the top 10 financial traders, for 24 years, and lost money in 24 years. It was all him, not me, but I got to learn a lot. And I thought, what if I went interviewed, because people are going to say, hey, Tony Robbins, he's a motivator. They don't know who I am. They don't know I've been in the financial area. What if I interviewed 50 of the smartest people in the world, the Warren Buffetts, the Ray Dalio's, the Carl Icahns, and figure out what makes them tick, what makes them so successful to go from nothing to multi-billion dollars. These are all people like Ray Dalio started in a 2-bedroom apartment, right? And now the guy's got $160 billion that he manages. And so I figured out what they did, I applied it, and I taught it, I put it in a book, and I taught it to people. But I gotta tell you what else benefit happens. When you go to teach other people and you learn things, you apply it yourself. I took what I learned from them in my little $50, $100 million companies and converted them to $1 billion companies, $6 billion now a year, just from what I learned in that area. But it started earlier. There was a guy, when I was first getting on, I was interested in the skills of leadership, and I was interested in influence, and I was interested in persuasion and negotiation and sales. And the number one guy in the world at that time was a guy named Tommy Hopkins. And he was like 20 years my senior. He had big seminars, like 1,200 people. And I was like, how am I ever going to do this? And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to interview 50 people who are making $250,000 or more. Back then, that'd be like $1 million or more today in the sales profession. And let me find out what they did, from car salespeople to insurance people. And I did it. And so I was the reporter. I gathered that knowledge. And then I started doing little seminars. And the seminars grew from 50, 100, 200, and pretty soon there were a couple thousand people, and I was outstripping Tommy Hopkins. No disrespect, he's a beautiful man, but I got to kill it because I was bringing new information that wasn't mine. It was from the best people in the field, and that's what I'm best at, is extracting that, and that's what you'll get in this course.
And the cool part is, when Tony did it, he had to fill events.
That's
and you
right.
had to fill events through direct mail, through advertising in the newspaper or TV.
Yeah, it's
right?
very
In
expensive.
today's world, you pick up your phone, you have the opportunity to share this knowledge, and that's why it's growing. I mean, being the reporter is how most of us start. And you have the opportunity to go out. And I share this, I got to share this really quick. If I wanted to be if I was doing a weekend workshop on how to be a wedding photographer, and I said to you, hey, come to this weekend workshop, and I'm going to show you how to get in the wedding photography business, how to market it, how to have a great style, how to brand it, how to get somebody else to do the work, and you'll be at $250 a year in 18 months. Give me $1,000 for a weekend Zoom workshop. But I have a disclaimer, I've never taken pictures and I'm not a wedding photographer. I just did this in front of 9,000 people when we were in Chicago. And I said, who would buy from me? Not one person raised their hand. But then I said, okay, same stuff. I'm gonna teach you how to market, brand, look great, do all these things. I have to disclaim though, for this $1,000 weekend workshop online through Zoom, I have to disclaim, I've never been in the wedding business. But here's what I did. I went on Instagram. I found the 10 top wedding photographers making the most money in America. I DM'd them. I got in contact with them. I got them on the phone, and I extracted the 10 best strategies from the 10 best in the United States. I correlated that information, and I want to share with you the 10 best strategies from the 10 best in the world over a weekend workshop with Zoom. And you can make $250,000 a year. Who would like to be in that workshop? The entire audience raised their hand. So we get rid of that. If you're not, and you can come back on this camera. If you're not the expert, at least you don't feel that you are, then you got to be the reporter of someone else's expertise.
Which will turn you into an expert eventually, because you'll have specialized knowledge nobody else has.
And then the last one is being a knowledge broker.
Can I take that one?
Yeah,
because this is where I started. So I didn't have the skill. I was still learning the reporting stage, and I met this man, Jim Rohn. I went to a seminar. It changed my life, and I wrote him. It was Christmas Eve. I got kicked out of my house. My dad I got kicked out too. My mom was a powerful woman. He went back east, and I was on my own. I remember I wrote this note, I sent it to his offices. I said, I want to bring you to the San Gabriel Valley, east of Los Angeles. I'm going to promote you. I didn't know how to promote. I just want people to know what you have. And so I stumbled across, and I didn't get the job initially, but I eventually went to work for him where I would go fill his events. So I was a knowledge broker. And then I became a broker when I said, I want to bring other people to the table. I want to start my own business. I want to have multiple speakers. And so that's what I did. And then gradually, over the years, I got better than some of the people I learned. I had a skill set.
And you eventually got on
and I became the expert. So it's like you can hit this from many different angles. And the secret is you can start as small as you want and do something that's so meaningful and enjoyable, earn really well while you're building into something even larger.
Yeah, switch over to this camera. I want to show you this too. So this is what I really want to bring, and I'm obsessed with whiteboards. I can't do slides. So think about it. If you'd love to tap into an industry that's going towards $1 billion a day by 2025, this is one of those things you look back in 10 years and go, shit, I was watching Tony and Dean. They said this was happening. It took over. Old education's dead. This is the new way. I could have been in there. So if you're excited about that, whether you're starting in the middle or you're crushing it, want to go to the next level, if you're intrigued about this industry, there's no excuse. Because if you have a skill, honestly, if you die someday with a skill or an expertise in your head and you don't share it, I think you should feel guilty. That's what we want to do. We want to make self-education the new norm. I have a skill, I should share it, create significance, create impact. But if not, you'll be the reporter. If not, you're the broker. This covers every single one of you watching right now. One of you fit here, and here's the cool part. Because of the change in the world, change of technology, you could do it virtual or in person. And the thing is, too, if you say, but I don't know what to teach, that's what we're going to talk about in a minute. We take all that away. We have 60 plus years. But here's the cool part. If you open up and show this whole screen, this is everybody watching. You could do it virtual or online. You could do it in person, right? It's not the book, it's not the course, it's not coaching. It's one to many. And then lastly, you could decide if you'd build a community. Like the girl that does right here, endometriosis.
Yeah, this is a perfect
Gavin,
example.
if you want to bring up Gavin, I love what they've done. I mean, she built a community helping women conquer endometriosis, and she's not a doctor, she's not a nurse, she was just the reporter and did it. So she built an amazing community.
But here's the most important thing. She went through the process of all the pain and solved it. She navigated through it, so she has specialized knowledge to help somebody else and save them decades or months or years with the pain. That's the power of what this is really all about. That's what the knowledge blueprint business really is showing you the blueprint of how you can help others and help yourself simultaneously.
Yeah, and so if you could build a community, you could build a group, or you could build a workshop. Whatever one fits you, virtual or in person. And for us, that all falls, virtual or in person, it all falls under the umbrella of doing a mastermind. Again, it's completely straight impact. The other thing too is masterminds, you get to charge more. These people are charging $10,000, $15,000 in some cases because you're going there and you're condensing decades into days.
You're also showing somebody how to be able to earn more. So people will spend $1 to make 10. They'll spend 10,000 to make 100,000. Very often, like in my own industry, when I was helping people just with personal development, people don't realize if I go to this event, I could save my life. I could transform my energy. I could save my marriage. But all that seems like something in the distance. When you do things that are dimes to dollars, like things of this nature, where you're showing somebody how to solve a problem right now, people will spend the money for it, and it's happening all over the world. And the marketing part is the best part, because you might be saying, okay, what if I already have a business too? What if I'm already in this business, Tony? How do I take it to the next level? Or I'm brand new. Let me make it really simple. I got 54 companies. When I take over a company, the very first thing that I do, I'll give you 2 pieces of advice right now, whether you're starting from nothing or whether you've already got a business. Number one, I want to find out who is the ideal customer. Who's the person I want to serve? Who's the person that really needs this? Who's the person who's going to want this even when the economy's in bad shape? And then I want to know everything about them. What do they need? What do they want? What do they desire? What do they fear? Now, if you start with something that you've already gone through, you're one of those people. You already have yourself as an example. But I study everything I can to know about them. And then my job is to meet their needs. And the way you do that is you come up with an irresistible offer. And we're going to show you how just changing a little bit of language can change literally 1,000 times return on the same investment you made in a few dollars, and let's say on a Facebook ad or something you put on Instagram or something you do in any form of social media. So the secret, I'll give you an example. Most of you are probably familiar with Zappos. Zappos is a company that started, you know, if you can imagine, back in 1999, 2000, and they had this idea, we're going to sell shoes to women online. Now, if somebody says, I want you to invest in this company, what are you going to say? Are you crazy? Women are going to need to buy the shoes. They're going to have to ship them to them. They're going to have to try them on. They don't like them. They're going to have to ship them back. No one's going to do this. And sure enough, no one did. Now, then along comes Tony Hsieh, who's a friend of mine who now runs the company. And Tony, and this is a bunch of guys in a house in San Francisco, and they're struggling and they're losing money. And he says, guys, the first thing you got to know is who's your ideal customer. He says, you already have the ideal customer because women have a different relationship to shoes. A woman can put on one shoe and she's a different woman, a different color, a different heel. You know, for women, shoes can equal happiness. Is it true, ladies? But for guys, some guys it matters. Other guys, it's like it's a shoe, right? He goes, you got the ideal customer. He said, but you need an irresistible offer that'll make it so that they feel ridiculous not to do this with them. And he said, here's what I would do. He said, your objection is, the problem is, they got to try these shoes on. Let them buy as many shoes as they want. And here's the offer. We'll pay the shipping to you, and if you don't like any of them, you can ship them all back, and we'll take them all back, no cost to you, and we'll pay the shipping both ways. Now, if you heard this story, and you're an investor, you're like, you're crazy, you're going to go bankrupt. He says, you're going to go bankrupt anyway. You might as well have an irresistible offer. Today, that company grew to over $1.2 billion. They sold it to Amazon, and Tony still runs it today. I want you to know, all this really comes down to is saying, who do I want to serve? What's something I have or someone else has where I could take that information and help somebody? Who are the ideal people to go after? And then what would be the irresistible offer? And we will walk you through that, as well as how to build the course, how to lay it all out. And we built it all the way down from not only training you in this in our course, but also being able to do a software that just automates it for you as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, in a moment here, we're going to share more, but we spent over $500,000 creating a software